On May 14th, starting at midnight, the circadian flycatchers are going to be birding for 24 hours straight, covering the entire state of New Jersey. It's safe to say this is going to be the most intense World Series of birding yet. It is now day 3 scouting for the World Series of birding. Right now, I just got out here. I'm all the way up in far northern New Jersey right now. I'm going to be meeting up with some of my other team members who are kind of basically scouting this entire area for the whole week. And they've been scouting all around. Right now, it is currently 4:53. I got up at 2:30 to get up here. And they've already been out birding for, I think like at 1:30 or something, scouting out all these night areas because, and I think I kind of mentioned this in other videos, but the World Series is a 24-hour event. It goes from midnight to midnight, and the goal is to try to find as many bird species as possible. So just listening, just waiting for them to get here. They're out scouting at other areas. They have not made it to the spot that I'm at right now just yet. Scouting, it's getting going. There's some swamp sparrows singing out there. One had been calling really close, but we kind of stopped. It is actually not the same day. It is a little bit of time after the World Series, but I didn't really have time to be vlogging this part of scouting because it was some really pretty intense scouting up there with Scotty and Jonathan, and then later that day I was doing some night scouting, so I scouted with them all morning up until lunchtime. Then I went home at lunchtime, slept for a little bit, and then I went right into doing some night scouting, and that's what you will see later in this video. But anyway, to start off, they got there just a little bit after I had filmed that little intro, and we started going out to all these different grasslands to try to find spots to nail down Savannah sparrow, Vesper sparrow, and grasshopper sparrow. So we started off, we found a few Savannah sparrows that were chipping, but the problem is these weren't really singing, these were just kind of chipping, and that probably meant that they were migrants, because at this point in the year, if there were any Savannah sparrows that were on breeding grounds, chances are they would be singing, not just chipping, and we did not find any singing Savannah sparrows. So that was, good to know that they were around, but not exactly what we were looking for. We checked a few spots for Vesper sparrow, did not find any of them. We did find one single grasshopper sparrow that was singing, but that was it as far as they went. Right after we checked some grasslands, we went right into checking a few little ponds around to look for stuff like wood duck, solitary sandpiper, green heron, and anything that we could find like that. We wound up finding all 3. We were also able to find a lone snow goose in this one little pond. From there, we went right into looking for breeding songbirds and trying to track down raptor nests. So since Scotty and Jonathan had already been scouting in this area for a few days, they had already nailed down some of these raptor nests, and we just went around looking at them and just kind of confirming that there were still raptors in there and not that it was something like a freak thing, like just like a raptor hanging around a nest. We did find a few, I think we found like 2 broad-winged hawk nests, and I'm trying to think, but I think that was all the hawk nests that I was there with them for. They wound up finding some other hawk nests. They found a sharp-shinned hawk nest too, but I was not there for that. So then, we were looking all around for any sort of breeding songbirds, any sort of woodpecker holes, any sort of just kind of going down all these different roads and listening. We were riding out the windows, kind of practicing for the World Series, where we were hanging out the doors of the van, listening as we were driving by. Because the thing is for the World Series, you don't have time. You're just kind of trying to find these roads where you can hear a lot of these warblers singing and start listening for stuff. We were able to track down a lot of breeding warblers like cerulean warblers, Blackburnian, black-throated green. They had found a spot where there was a brown creeper, red-breasted nuthatch, all stuff that was very key for the World Series. We also spent a lot of time looking all around this area for breeding winter wrens.
Come out, wherever you are.
Is he hiding from us?
Probably. That may just be down there coming already. Gosh.
And the habitat looked great. The habitat actually really reminded me of the kind of habitat up in the Adirondacks with all the sphagnum moss and that real wet kind of habitat. It really looked great for winter wrens, and we spent a while looking all around, but unfortunately that was a bird that we did not find. So all of that kind of took up a lot of our morning, but then we went to, I'm trying to think the order of these things. I don't quite remember the order, but we went to 2 different spots, both to look for waterfowl. So we went to this one big lake. We were able to find, I think we found a common loon, lots of cormorants. We were able to find a horned grebe at this spot, but the problem is this spot didn't really fit in with the route that well, and there really needed to be significantly more there than just a horned grebe for us to consider going to this spot because it was so out of the way. If we could find even as few as 3 good waterfowl species, we would have stopped there. But since there was just that one horned grebe, we didn't really think it was worth going to that spot. Somewhere around there, I think we found, or actually this may have been close to the route, we found a few spots for common mergansers and a random little pond, and then we found a few more common mergansers at this other spot, which was a really good one because while common mergansers do breed in certain areas in northern New Jersey, they're one that is not a real common breeder and can be kind of hard to track down. We also checked some random spots for kingfisher. We didn't find that. So after we were looking for waterfowl at these different areas, we then went back to some more grassland habitat to try to track down some kestrels and any more sparrows that we could find. So we did come across a few white-crowned sparrows, and we did come across, I think we found a solitary sandpiper, eastern meadowlark, that kind of stuff, but we did not find any kestrels. There was some sheep at this spot though, which I actually have a little video of. Scotty was checking under some bridges there for swallow nests.
This is how we scout for the World Series now?
Yep.
A lot of this wound up taking a lot of time because we were covering a lot of different spots and really trying to thoroughly look through everything for the World Series. So that was kind of it for the morning, and I also wasn't there for the full day. They were going to continue scouting up north, but at this point, it was time for me to head home, time to nap for a little bit because I was up at I don't even remember. I know I was up really crazy early because to get there so early, I think I was up at 1:30 or 2 o'clock or something like that to get there because I just drove up that morning. So I went home, napped for a little bit, and then later that day went out for some more scouting for nighttime stuff. But I actually think before that, I have a clip of Josie who was scouting down south with Aaron. So I have that, and then me scouting night.
Hello. I am currently at Stone Harbor. Oh God. Walking down the trail to the beach because we need the new purple sandpiper and whatever the hell else. Aaron and I decided to split up so we could cover more ground, and of course he sent me to the really blustery place. Okay. Well, no, I volunteered. He's going to the Wetlands Institute, nummies, etc., stuff like that, to see if he can find some cool stuff. And then he promised me that Shell Bay had some cool stuff, so I hope he better find something. I better find something too, so we're kind of all making promises to each other. Technically, right now I only have 2 main, nameable target species, but whatever the hell else I can find out here, skimmer, royal tern, I will be happy. It is actually not that bad on the trail, but the closer I get to the beach, I know the more I feel like I will want to die. Yeah, not really much else to say, except hoping to head to Meadows, Belle Plaine, Jake's, shit like that. Cool. I'm wearing a mask to cover my face from the wind. I think it's actually going to be my one true savior out here. Okay, bye.
We have made it out here. We are now doing some night scouting, looking for night birds. The goal is to try to find some spots for birds like Sora, Virginia rail, coot, like really anything. We're looking for anything right now. Oh, was that a woodcock? Holy frick. Hang on, I think that was a freaking woodcock. Oh yeah, woodcock. But right now we're out here, we're hardcore scouting. We're gonna find some good stuff. So let's do it. We got just some barred owls calling. A few of them. That's cool. I don't know if you can really hear them right now, they're mostly done. But that's cool to know they're here. Alright, so I guess you guys can't see me too well with the dark. You can pretty much just see my headlight. But first spot, not that great. Woodcock and barred owl, so that was good. No rails. Over at a marshy area for like the past hour trying to listen for stuff. Just wasn't hearing anything, you know? So last night, the scouting, I mean, I wouldn't say it wasn't productive, because I did figure out spots not to go, but I didn't find anything that's worthy of hitting any of the spots that I hit last night. I went all around this one area listening at all the marshes. I heard barred owls, I heard a few solitary sandpipers, a few woodcocks. That was really it. There were a few marsh wrens too, but overall was super slow and super quiet. Really nothing around for all the time that I spent around there. I really don't have that much to show for it. Then I went to another spot where apparently there's been breeding long-eared owls, and I listened there. I did hear a great horned, but I did not get any long-eareds. Great horn's going to be something that's going to be fairly easy to find, and yeah, it just I wasn't quite sure if I was in the right spot or not. I still don't know if I was, but either way, did not hear that. So that's what happened last night. Now we're out here today, starting off scouting for day 4 of scouting. So I wound up not really filming that much last night. There wasn't really anything to film, and now we're out here scouting some different areas for ducks, and all different like mud flats and stuff for gulls, and if there's any like shorebirds and stuff around. So I found some Bonaparte skulls, found 2 spots for Bonapartes. I hope that they stick around because that would be a good one to get. But as far as ducks go, that's another thing. I'm striking out on ducks, all the duck spots. Really not having good luck with them. Hitting another duck spot now. Hopefully I can find like a lingering lesser or greater scaup or something. But that's what's going on. That's like a ton of brand. Ducks at this one spot. Last year there was a greater scaup here around this time of year, but I'm not seeing anything that's sticking out. There's lots of cormorants, but that's about it. No ducks. So we gotta try to figure out where we can find some ducks, because right now we don't have a ton of duck spots. Right now Jonathan and Scotty, they're still scouting up north. They just went to the area that I was at a few days ago to check around there, and they did not get the ruddy ducks. At that spot they did get shovelers and white crowned sparrows, which I did not get when I was there. But it's tough that there's no ruddies. The problem is if we can't find them when we need them, then, you know, just kind of is what it is, unfortunately. Yeah, scouting's going tough. I mean, it's not horrible, but the problem is this year is the World Series is really late. Usually it's like May 9th or something, and this year it's the 14th. And that actually could be a good thing because the migrants are really late this year. But that's the thing, just like migrants, everything's really late this year. It's really hard trying to find stuff. The breeders, you know, down south, Aaron and Josie are scouting away, and they're having a lot of trouble trying to track down breeders, especially breeders that are chipping or singing or something later in the day. Because that's another thing with World Series, kind of all World Series, but especially with full state, when you're so tied for time, everything is pretty much herd only. Like all songbirds, all of that's herd only. I don't know, it's not going terrible, but scouting's not going great. There's just not a lot around. It's really tough. I really hope that we're able to find some good stuff. We have found some good stuff.
Hi World Series vlog, this is Josie. We just came from Cape May Harbor where it was 40-mile-per-hour winds.
Went home very briefly, just picked up some food, looked up like a few spots on eBird that I think might be worth scouting around the area that I'm scouting, and then headed back out. Now I'm out here at this spot, big reservoir to check for lingering waterfowl. Then I'm gonna hit some inlets, some spots along the coast, some random ponds, and really just try to see if I can find any lingering waterfowl, because so far I'm striking out on that. I mean, the one good thing about scouting, even though I haven't found a lot of places that I actually think we'll go to, I did find a lot of places that we won't be going to. And sometimes, honestly, in scouting, that's just as important. That big reservoir that I was at sucked. There was no waterfowl anywhere. Looked all over the lake. Only found 2 common loons, which that's something that we can pretty easily get elsewhere. Now I'm out here scanning this random little pond, because there was 2 lesser scaup here a few days ago. I'm not seeing any sign of the lesser scaup. There's 3 mallards, but there is right back there 1 ruddy duck, which I don't really think we're gonna need. But the only ruddy duck spot we had was the ones that I got a few days ago, and Jonathan and Scotty were just there today and did not get them. But they do hide in the reeds, and they can be pretty hard to find. So this might be a backup location. I don't really know. We're gonna keep going and keep trying to get stuff. went all around this pond, no scaup. No scaup at all. Maybe this ruddy duck is a backup for the other ones. Another pond. Let's see if there's anything here. Holy sh! Let's freaking go. Right freaking here, baby. Oh, yeah. We got some scaup. Oh, yeah. Where's the other one? Where's the other one at? Oh, there we go. Oh, just dove. Lesser scaup. And then out over there, there is a female bufflehead diving. There it is, right up there. So we're out here scanning an inlet for anything really. Waves are huge. Strong northeast winds. Trying to pick out anything at all. Surfers. Lots of surfers. That's how you know the waves are big. What's that? What do we got out there? Looks like a common turn.
Hello. Look at this absolutely gorgeous sunset. We are in, there's some black-headed night herons, and we've seen something quite special, heard something quite special.